Hello viewers, as we all know that 1st August to 7th August, we are celebrating it as the World Breastfeeding Week. To enlighten us with the best breastfeeding practices, we are conducting some webinars. Today we are having Professor Delphina Guru. She is a lactation practitioner. She is also Vice Principal of MMES Srimati Sunanda Pravin Gambhir Chand College of Nursing, Matunga, Mumbai. She has a 25 years of experience in nursing field. She is also the pioneer of Lactathon. Today's topic of discussion will be challenges faced by nurses in breastfeeding counseling. So I welcome Professor Delphina.
Thank you, Daneshwar. I also thank Madam Rupal and Bombay IIT team for inviting me and making me a part of this campaign of Breastfeeding Week celebration. Thank you so much. Here I am to share my views about breastfeeding challenges that the nurses face while counseling the mothers. So, as we all know, breastfeeding is a powerful lifesaver. It gives children the best start of life. However compelling this evidence might be, we still find that the health system, the political commitment, and the financial investment in breastfeeding is very, very low. Unfortunately, majority of the mothers are still not able to have optimally breastfeeding their babies. So what is lacking here? We know that breastfeeding advocacy has been a very debatable topic in nursing field right from the inception of the years. Since nurses are a majority of the health workers in the hospital field, making them utilize for optimizing breastfeeding rates actually is a very good idea. But unfortunately, we do not find that happening. Nurses are the best mode of communication when it comes to rapport building or when it comes to taking care of mothers after their postpartum period. They play a vital role in educating the mothers about infant feeding, about breastfeeding. It is their moral, legal, and professional responsibility as well to protect, promote, and support the mothers during this phase of life to bring in optimal breastfeeding rates. So, then why do nurses fail in advocating and counseling the mothers in breastfeeding? Well, this is a question. I have been in this field of nursing for about 25 years long. But it was only until 2 years back when I completed my lactation practitioner nursing practitioner's course, I thought of introspecting this. So having known that nurses are a big human force that can actually bring in a positive rate of breastfeeding among the mothers, then why are we still failing? Well, after a lot of introspection, I have come and I agree that most of the viewers will also agree on this point that there are various components, various reasons why nurses fail in bringing this positive change in breastfeeding rate. So I have put it under four different categories. One is the administrative challenges that the nurses face. Then the challenges arise due to the influence and interference of formula making marketing companies, challenges within the nurses themselves, and challenges arising from the patient, the mothers, and their family members. When I come to the administrative challenges, what I find is basically the syllabus from where, as you all know, that knowledge is one of the important aspect one need to have in order to counsel others. When it comes to syllabus formation, or if you check the syllabus of the nurses, you will be shocked to understand that we only have, whether it is A&M, whether it is GNM, whether it is BSc, we only have 2 hours allocated in the unit, in the postpartum unit for breastfeeding. Now imagine when I did my lactation nurse practitioner course, it took me a year and I still feel there are so many lacunas where I lack to understand so many aspects of breastfeeding. Imagine we send these nurses with 2 hours of training of breastfeeding and we expect them to counsel and bring in a positive change. How is that going to happen? So I feel that definitely inadequate time allocation for breastfeeding unit in nursing syllabus is one of the biggest hurdle. Then we see nowadays that the teaching methodologies are changing. Everything is becoming virtual rather than physical. Less amount of actual demonstration, hands-on skill, which is utmost important to teach the mothers the various techniques, the positions, and unless you hold the baby in your hand and show them how the mother is supposed to, definitely she is not going to understand it just by virtually telling her. And I feel that this is one of the biggest drawback that we face in the nursing syllabus. So lack of detailed knowledge about breastfeeding. When you come to the hospital side or the administration side, any administration will definitely be very focused and positive when it has policies and protocols laid down in place. Well, when it comes to breastfeeding, I am sure most of you will agree that many hospitals who are calling themselves as maternity hospitals also lack policies and protocols when it comes to breastfeeding. So when there are no policies, when there are no protocols, I'm sure the nurses are not going to abide by, and therefore this becomes a hurdle in advocating breastfeeding. We all know that baby friendly hospital initiative acts as a major help in bringing about positive change. But when it comes to hospitals who do not have baby friendly hospital initiative, then definitely the nurses working there, the healthcare working there, healthcare personnel working there may not be able to actually inculcate and incorporate the best practices that are needed for bringing in breastfeeding, optimum breastfeeding rates. From the hospital side, when there is a non-compliance of the or the absence of international code of marketing of breastfeeding substitutes, definitely we will find all the healthcare workers falling victim to the marketing strategies used by these companies using the healthcare workers for supporting their products or marketing their products or using their products. So apart from all these policies protocols, I feel the hospital approach also is changing nowadays. We do see that hospitals are becoming patient friendly, so there is a lot of flexibility in the guidelines and rules pertaining to the breastfeeding practices as well. So if the mother says that she is just wanting to relax and I don't want to feed anymore, there is no question raised, there is no convincing made, and then you find that the hospitals easily give up saying that yes, you can shift on to formula. So these are certain things that, in order to make the patient happy, so that you don't get a negative remark in your customer feedback, so you tend to be flexible towards the patient and then lose on the motto of having optimum rates in breastfeeding. So these are some of the administrative stuff what we see. Also, one of the biggest constant is constant imposed by the medical staff. Unfortunately, in India, you will find that the nurses still have to often abide by the instructions given by the authorities, the doctors. Hence, whatever they say is taken as a final order. The nurses don't raise their voice even if they find certain things happening wrong, even if they want to go ahead with certain protocols which they find are good, they are not able to do it because questioning or raising voice is still not found very effectively executed in Indian scenario. Lack of autonomy, lack of power to make decisions, and absolutely no joint strategies for breastfeeding even make it difficult for the nurses to optimize or incorporate strategies to increase the rates of breastfeeding. Then there is lack of support from the part of institution as well. And we also find that failure in treating mother and baby as a unit is also missing. You find a pediatrician coming, he will be only having concern with the baby. You see a gynecologist coming, he will have concern only with the mother. So where is the joint strategy of a mother and baby to be called as a unit, which is lacking? And I feel therefore even the nurses are not bothered to look it as a unit. So these are some of the challenges which I find are failure from administration part. The second challenge is what I see is arise due to the influence of the formula marketing companies. You see these health workers, including nurses, and the healthcare facilities are often used throughout world for by these food companies or baby food making companies to promote breast milk substitutes such as infant formulas, specialized formulas, follow-up formulas, so on and so forth. So what you find is the hospital people uh, or the nurses are targeted health workers used by these companies to promote their products. They build relationships in such a way that they offer lure the people or the nurses by giving them some incentives. They offer certain education for the families, certain trips, outings, giving gifts to the health workers and their families, and sponsoring many conferences and meetings. Now, when even smallest pen or a gift is being received from these companies by the nurses, you see there is a sense of obligation that I have received a gift. So in return, in order to pay that obligation off, you might have that soft corner for the companies, and then you say, okay, ek promote hi karna hai, so let me just promote this particular food. So the gifts and the offerings what the companies do to these nurses also might be a hurdle in the nurses in actually giving their 100% for advocating breastfeeding. Then there is also a sense of damn care attitude being seen. Sometimes you find nurses or the healthcare workers saying that, what is a big deal in it? I have even seen hospital doctors saying this. What is a big deal in it? Why do we let the mother suffer when there is a formula available? Why has the mother to stay awake at night and let the baby cry for food? If she is not able to breastfeed, let the formula do the needful. So, easily giving up on availability seen surrounding you is also one of the hurdle I feel, which comes as a barrier in um, promoting breastfeeding. So there is also one end where you see that if the formulas are given free of cost, the mothers don't have to pay for it, then why should we not take the benefit of it? So these are certain kinds of marketing strategies being utilized by the companies, which also become a hindrance or obstacle in promoting breastfeeding, and nurses do fall prey to all of this. uh, there are certain challenges which come from the nurses within. There are certain things within the nurses which also acts as a hindrance. So what I feel, which I have also narrated in the earlier phase, that lack of knowledge. In order to counsel others, you need to have yourself equipped with knowledge. If you do not know right hold, how are you going to even explain the mother how she is going to hold the baby? So limited knowledge, limited educational exposure, limited educational programs, and less work experience are certain uh, parameters which I feel also acts as a barrier. Shortage of nurses is one of the worldwide fact. If you see, it's a universal fact. Everywhere you have shortage of nurses. So as a result, the nurses are overworked. The workload, if you monitor a nurse for even one shift, you will come across the findings that within that 8 or 10 hours of shift, she is been only able to dedicate 4 hours of complete patient care. Rest 4 to 5 hours are being spent only doing non-nursing activities. I'm very sorry to say, but in Indian scenario at least, this is a very, very great fact which everybody will agree on. She is the mediator for everybody. She's a centralized mediator for everybody, whether it is a doctor, whether it is a pathologist, whether it is, you name the person who is associated with the ward or the hospital, and the nurse is in medium, is in the central area, who will coordinate with all of them. So lack of time is one inseparable uh, fact in nursing, which also contributes to lack of counseling sessions, or the lack of time given to the mothers to devote their time for advocacy and counseling. And one again biggest fact is that we do not have a dedicated breastfeeding nurse advocate. You see nowadays, maybe it's influence from the foreign countries, or maybe it's the awareness, we could say, that we do have specialist doctors. So similarly, nowadays we have specialist nurse as well. We have a pain management nurse, we have a wound care nurse, we have a diabetic foot management nurse, and so on and so forth. But we do not have a breastfeeding nurse advocate. We do not have a nurse totally dedicated to take care of breastfeeding mothers. And hence, unless this is there, we will still continue to have that problems of dedicated counseling services to the mothers. There are other attributes from the nurses themselves within, that maybe language is a barrier, communication medium is not so strong. Nowadays, we have well read patients who are so much internet savvy. They have been Googled, and they have done so many searches, and then they have come to hospitals. They ask you certain things. As I said, if the nurse is not well equipped with knowledge, she will not be in a position to answer all their queries. So, what happens? The patient loses a trust in the nurse. So there is non-acceptance of that nursing faculty as a counselor. So they will only wait for the doctors to come. So this is again a fact that has been seen all over these years, that unless the nurse is equipped well with knowledge and well read, she will not be in a position to counsel the mothers. So inability to convince the mothers. You see, nowadays you find patients are very, very demanding. They have certain knowledge, and with that knowledge they keep on asking, or keep on demanding certain things from the hospital. Now, if the nurse is not in a position to convince the mother, she easily gives up. She finds that however I am going to use my time for this particular patient, there is going to be a negative outcome for this advocacy. And so she easily gives up. Kyun mata phodi karna hai? Why should I struggle so much for taking care of this patient? Anyways, the patient is going to do what she wants to do. So inability to convince, or that lack of interest to convince, also becomes a hurdle in counseling the mothers. Also, there are certain personal attributes like lack of assertiveness, poor self-esteem among the nurses, and lack of communication medium. So, I think these are certain challenges which arise from the nurse's point of view. We also have challenges arising from the patients and the families. If you see, we live in a country where rituals, cultural beliefs, and so many religious beliefs are associated with breastfeeding. When we still have a joint family system in our country, and if a mother is delivered, you will find the entire family comes into picture. So if there is a non-willing mother, if there is an uncooperative or non-cooperative mother, it's a big challenge to convince her and to make her understand the importance of breastfeeding, and make her understand why she should breastfeed. There is always an interference from patients' family members. You know the biggest fact of colostrum. Nowadays, at least we see mothers coming up and asking that colostrum should be fed. But over the years of 25 years, I have seen so many patients with living with the myths, and the grandmother's interference, the mother-in-law's interference, that baby should be fed honey, and all these things become a hindrance where nurses feel short of convincing power that these are not the right food for the baby, and then they give up, let them do whatever they want to. So this become as an obstacle for motivating or advocating breastfeeding. There are myths in the patient or the mothers or the family members that the mother has less milk supply, baby is not feeding properly, baby is crying all the time, why are you not giving feed from outside, why are the formulas not being used? So there is so much of pressure from the family members. They are not in a mood to understand what you are trying to say. They are not able to understand the facts why breastfeeding is important, and then they easily overpower you, saying that whatever happens we will see to it, you please feed the baby, let not the baby cry. So when such comments come, the nurses fear, they have lack of powerlessness, they are fearful of taking risk of going ahead and opposing the patients and the family members. There's a fear of conflict that even if I stand for breastfeeding, tomorrow pediatrician will come and they will scold us, saying that he might scold us saying that why haven't you given, the baby has not passed urine, so there's a fear of conflict that whatever I try to do, and if the doctors don't agree with it, definitely I'm going to be in a soup. I'm going to There's a fear of loss of job. So such things I think are arising from the family members, which act as a hindrance in promoting and advocating breastfeeding. So if we want to fix these problems, definitely there are various ways and means. But if you agree to what I have said, that administration challenges from the companies, marketing companies, challenging from the nurses within themselves, and the challenges which arise from the patients, the environment, are all together um, acting as a hindrance in the nurses promoting or advocating breastfeeding.
Thank you, ma'am, for explaining in detail how these challenges are categorized in different domains and insightful thoughts in the domains like administrative challenges, policy perspective challenges, and how it is not involved in the syllabus to the extent of how it is not been practiced as a scientific way, and the myths involved in the breastfeeding. So, ma'am, have you came across any different experience through your practice that that has backed with myths, such myths, and you have tried to convince him, and he didn't convince through a scientific knowledge?
Yeah, definitely, Daneshwar. There are ample of examples that we have seen throughout our experience. However, few of them which come as a part of ritual of certain religious practices or certain communities, we have seen that giving honey to the baby is one of the very commonest practice I have seen happening in the hospitals. Then myths about colostrum is still very persistently seen, although educated mothers are now coming up with the extensive knowledge about it, and they are coming up for colostrum, but still we find that the old parents or the parents or the relatives who are there, who are from the older generation, still have that myth about feeding colostrum. So this is something which we have found very commonly happening.
So, ma'am, I would like to know that do people usually come for get counseling on breastfeeding, or what is the driving force that people that come to you for getting counseling?
Yes, Danvishal. So for this, I'll say that nowadays, if you see, there is an awareness, and so many mom to be. In fact, I am getting calls from pregnant ladies to know more about breastfeeding, what they should be doing during the antenatal period. But overall, if you see, the scenario is such where when you come into a problem, you remember the lactation practitioner. And I have been receiving call even at night, when the baby is vigorously crying and the mothers do not know what to do, and she's trying to feed the baby and the baby is not latching properly. So usually, if an overall trend you see, when you land up in problem, you remember the counseling. Otherwise, the educated moms who are to be moms are also seeking help what can be done in antenatal period so that breastfeeding becomes easier later on.
Professor Delpina, can you tell me where this marketing people get success in selling this alternative food items for breastfeeding?
Well, as I said earlier, the hospitals or the institutions which do not have fixed guidelines or policies, who do not have proper protocols or standard operating procedures being laid down, that places you will find these things happening more. So this is completely a administration failure, I would say. So most of the corporate hospitals, even when they have this, and still people tend to enter and lure the nurses and the healthcare workers to get their products promoted. So it's not a individual job. There is a loop behind it, and you need to find out entire loop who and which people are associated with it. So they try and make it possible, like if one person is not taking your product or denying it, they will try some other means. So as I said, there it's a collection of people behind it, so you need to really find out if the administration policies are strict and if the policies are being assessed whether people are abiding by it. If that strategy is very very focused and strictly followed and adhered to by the administration, definitely these companies will not have a say or entry into this particular institutions. But whatever my experience is, I have seen it has become a utter failure, because as I said, it has not been taken as a unit. We work bits and parts. So definitely if one person is denying, there is somebody else from the purchase department, there is somebody else from the administration who would go for it, and such companies just seek an opportunity to get an entry into the hospitals and institutions. So we need to find out the loop from where they are connecting with the people or the mothers or the nurses, and that has to be broken. Unless that, it is very difficult to deny their entry into the hospitals and institutions.
So, Professor Delphina, so till now you have provided us knowledge and insights about the challenges and the problems that are in the promoting best breastfeeding practices. Now, can you tell us that what can be the possible ways in which we can manage to sort out this problem?
Definitely, Daneshwar. Earlier, also, I've said that breastfeeding is not just a ritual to be followed by a mother and her baby, but it is a collective activity where the family is involved, the institution is involved, the counselors are involved, the pediatrician, the gynecologist, so on and so forth. So it's a collective activity. Also, you see, political influence also matters here. So I would say that if you want these problems to be fixed, there has to be strategies which need to be worked on. So as I have divided my topic into four different types of challenges, so also the solutions could come from four different categories. So when I talk about administrative challenges, you need to have policies, guidelines, strategies in place so that the nurses working there would be guided by those policies how they are supposed to optimize or counsel the mothers, handle their problems, whom to refer, when to refer, and all those things should be in place in that policy, so it becomes easy for the nurses to follow it. So that is one thing. Then endorsement of baby friendly hospital initiative is one of the greatest boon. If that hospital follows it, definitely it will aid in taking care of the problems as well as the getting solutions for the problems. The problem which I mentioned about the syllabus, so definitely revising and updating the curriculum, having more and more units how to handle problems of breastfeeding, and what are the various problems that arise which is not given in depth in the syllabus need to be updated and revised in the curriculum. You need to encourage the healthcare facilities, the system to provide in depth knowledge about breastfeeding and have hands on skill training for nurses. So as we give training in critical area, or so also is breastfeeding important, and that cannot be ignored. So the hospital administration should also have a slot specifically related to training hands-on skill for breastfeeding purpose. Developing the knowledge and counseling skills also is a necessary skill they need to develop to support the breastfeeding mothers, as well as in prevention and management of their problems. The nurses also need to partner with different categories of health workers like the pediatrician, the gynecologist, in developing joint strategies for advocating and promoting breastfeeding. So as we all know that nurses are longest time in association with the patients rather than the doctors and the other category of workers. So the hospital should understand this fact, the institution should understand this fact, and actually make utmost utilize of nurses by having a special cadre of nurses working only towards breastfeeding. I think only then some kind of improvement might happen. I like to share my own example. We were the first batch of lactation nurse practitioner in India, in fact. So when this course was designed and when it was led for approval, you will not believe that there were a lot of opposite comments which came from the fellow doctors and the administrative team, saying that breastfeeding is a natural instinct. Why on earth do you want a specialist in breastfeeding? Imagine a health care professional specialist speaking like this. What can we expect from lay people? So this is the unfortunate scenario in a Indian this thing scenario, that people still don't think it as an important aspect or an integral part of development of that particular child. Then strict compliance and adherence to the International Code of Marketing of Breastfeeding Substitutes, developing cadre of nurses, as I already mentioned, for advocating of breastfeeding. Then you have nurses to be assertive enough to question when things are going wrong, and that assertiveness can be developed by empowering them and arranging sessions for them to develop their personality as an assertive nurse. So, along with this, the last part that I mentioned, the challenges arising from the families and the patients themselves. So, again, there has to be strict policies laid down by the hospital for the patients and the mothers also, so that the nurses are in a better position to counsel and abide by those policies and have successful counseling sessions as well as advocacy for breastfeeding. So finally, not forgetting that breastfeeding is not a job or an activity or a ritual to be followed just by a mother and child, but it's a collective activity by all the stakeholders together, and thus we can make this a very happy breastfeeding session, as well as have optimal rates in breastfeeding and have a great success in breastfeeding. Thank you.
Definitely, ma'am. We'll get success through overcoming these challenges. Thank you very much for sharing us about the challenges and the opportunities where we can make changes to make the system better. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Daneshwar, and thank you entire team of IIT and Rupal Madam for making me and considering me a part of this campaign. Thank you so much.